and you're in the presence of the greatest podcaster in the truth community.
Amen, Neil. If you're not following Mikey Jayy, I have one thing to say. What is wrong with you?
The one, the only, Mikey Jayy on KGUP Presents.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And you know I had to tell him. Yeah. The earth is flat. Bro, you need to check your facts. I got high up through the roof. And I landed on the moon. The moon flat too. In reality, everything is just in 2D. Like a video game from 1983. I'm side scrolling up and down the street while y'all sleep.
How you doing? I'm Mikey Jayy, and you're tuned into another edition of KGUP Presents. This is episode 66 of season 5. Thank you so much for being here with me today. So I wanted to open up this episode with another scripture read from, I chose Leviticus chapter 25, verse 18 through 19. Wherefore ye shall do my statutes and keep my judgments and do them, and ye shall dwell in the land in safety. And the land shall yield her fruit, and ye shall eat your fill and dwell therein in safety. Now, I specifically chose this verse because I wanted it to kind of fit in with what we were going to talk about today, because we're going to talk about homesteading and earthships and gardening and beekeeping, which is something I've been, researching lately. And before I bring on today's guest, I wanted to mention that you can join our Patreon for just $3 a month, and then you can get a free t-shirt, even at the low tier, after being a member for 1 year. So I have to thank a few of our members that it just reached our 1 year anniversary, and that's Victoria and Awesome Austin of the Melodome. So, bro, if you're listening, let me know the size and color you want, and I'll get that shipped out to you. So on to today's show. I wanted to change it up a little because I've been off grid for the past few weeks. And I was a guest on other people's shows for a while, and I hadn't done an original KGUP episode and in quite some time. But I'm back, and today we have a great person on the show to talk about homesteading, earthships, and we'll get into maybe some other stuff like Tavistock and a little bit of flat Earth. We'll just see how it goes. And if you haven't heard of earthships before, don't feel left out, because until last year, I didn't know anything about it either. So without further ado, let's bring him on, the man, the myth, the legendary earth shipper himself, Dan Falkenbach, otherwise known as Flat Earth Subgenius. What is going on, my guy?
Thank you for the gracious introduction. That was, I got butterflies in my stomach. You made me blush.
Oh, man. Yeah, no worries, man. I'm glad to have you on. It's been a while. I've been wanting to have you on my show for I think since August. I think even before that, but I hadn't done a lot of like thinking about, I've been grappling about the idea of like going off grid and building a house for myself and doing homesteading. And I think I just wanted time to like do my own research and kind of like get a full grasp of what I was getting myself into. And then I saw a couple of your interviews and I was like, dude, I got to have this guy on. His place is cool. He's self-sustaining. He's like using recyclable materials to like, make this shit happen. And then I was just like, yeah, I got to have him on. So glad you're here.
Dude. Yeah, thanks, man. I'm in New Mexico, in Taos, New Mexico, the Earthship headquarters. There's a Earthship in virtually every country and on every continent except Antarctica. Wonder why that is.
That's crazy. I had, until like August of last year, I hadn't even heard of it, and then I found out that these people are everywhere building these type of homes, which is crazy to me.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, man.
No, because I've been looking into finding like a community to like kind of like a commune, but not really. You know what I mean? Just being surrounded by like-minded people.
Even if it's not company related, which is Earthship Biotexture itself, that's the company. There are totally independent contractors who have taken the principles and philosophy of the Earthships and then just integrated it into their own architecture and engineering, and then created their own what's called Earthship inspired or Earthship hybrid. So they just there's like Pangea builders, there's like aquadomes, there's hempcrete. I was supposed to be working a lot more than I thought I would be. Come on, buddy, not now. And I even got offered. They're offering me a job to be a den dad or a castle guardian out here, which is to keep the castle clean, maintained, and to make sure the students feel non-threatened and safe and everything's. And I make sure that I basically be maintenance for whatever needs to be worked on out here when the new students come in for the academy.
How did you even find out about the whole Earthship thing? Can you get into that?
Yeah, I remember in like 2007-ish or 2008, I was just going through horrible depression and just based on personal traumas and shit in my life. And so I was just doing research on how to get off grid and find, like you said, other communities, other communes with like-minded people. And so I found, I remember finding Ubuntu, the free resource-based economy. That's Michael Tellinger. And so that's the resource-based economy. And that's just like all bartering, all everything's free apparently, which I kind of, I don't know. I haven't gone into the Ubuntu, but I'm going to, since Tellinger switched from heliocentric to geocentric, and now he's like a master of alternative history and like mud floods and all that stuff that people are clamoring about nowadays and getting triggered about. And what else was it? Oh, the Venus Project with Jacques Fresco, that old monkey man.
Yeah.
And yeah, I wanted to go just meet and talk with Jacques Fresco, this 100-year-old genius monkey dude. And but he passed away in like 2017 or 18. And then, so basically my two choices, you're gonna love this part, were I found the Esalen Institute. And that's where I found that a lot of my favorite counterculture lecturers and auditors, Terence McKenna, Alan Watts, Robert Anton Wilson, Tim Leary, Aldous Huxley, Ram Dass, the Beatles. It's just MK Ultra headquarters. And so I'm not somebody who sits around like Jan Irving on his computer chair in the safety of his own home, lacking any actual field work and doing any actual travels. And I'm one who likes to go experience things and have a direct life experience. And then I'm not the armchair critic. I'm the guy who actually went to these places and risked his life and did the research and the field work to then be able to talk about my direct life experiences, so then I can share them with other people, so then I can embolden and embrave and just encourage other people to go and do some work, do some actual field work themselves, instead of being someone like Jan Irving who just sits on his chair and makes bubble charts for his whole life.
Hey man, if you don't mind, I'm going to try to cancel the stream and then get back on. Oh,
Are you serious? That's hilarious.
That is crazy.
I'm taking my hat off from that. That's nuts.
I don't know what's going on. I've never had a stream that cut off that long. And usually it happens for like a couple of seconds, and then I'm back. But to go for 5 minutes straight, I mean, that was insane.
Yeah. So are we? Are you going to keep it? Or are you?
I think we're good. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're good. I think it's been doing good so far. Echo boy. So yeah, so I'm out here. We are out here in nature, breathing in that sweet ass prana, baby. Ralph Smart.
No, I don't know who Ralph Smart is. I've heard his name before.
He's a YouTuber. He's probably got like 3 or 5 million subscribers. I remember following him in like 2010, back when he had hair. But I guess being vegan will make your hair fall out for so long, and for over 13 years. I don't know. No offense to any vegans out there, yourself included, but I don't know.
No offense. I mean, I gave up most meats I think in 2021, and then around summertime last year, I started eating chicken again, just to have like a variety of like protein and stuff. But I stay away from like beef, and I don't eat shellfish and pork. And I don't know if it's just kind of like a personal preference. Like, I just feel better. I do a lot of experimental cooking, and like, I do a lot of vegan stuff, but I still eat cheese and but I don't drink any dairy, like, milk. I stay away from that stuff. And I'm just learning how to cook stuff from like fermented starter. So like, I put it in like sourdough bread and stuff. Yeah. And I'm going to try like doing fermented soy and stuff like that, because it's actually better for you versus just the tofu, which comes from unfermented, which is not good for you at all.
Yeah, I had some tofu the other day, and but let's get back to the Earthship stuff here, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because living here, because I'm in Dallas, Texas, and since COVID started, my wife and I, we within 3 weeks of the pandemic, we were on our way to Texas looking for a better life and wanting to get away from the tyranny of California, because it's, I mean, even though everything seems good now, I mean, everyone's pretty much got the V. If you wanted to have a regular life, you had to get the V in order to go to certain places or have a regular job. And I didn't want to participate in that at all. And thankfully, I've never even had a test. So I've never even had to confirm what I knew I didn't have. So thankfully I live in a semi-free state, even though people around me are totally indoctrinated. And I just want to be away from the city. There's a lot of negative energy, and I just want to be close to nature, close to the land, and be able to grow my own food, live off grid, and have drill a well. I mean, I'm actually in the process of learning how to drill a well, and getting, having our own like septic, and just doing all the things to that way. I'm not relying on the government to provide anything for us. Have our own, if solar is like the way to go, or if wind is the way to go for electricity. I mean, what do you guys do for power and electricity and all that stuff?
We got solar panels everywhere. Most people don't use wind turbines, but wind turbines are really good. There used to be a giant wind turbine rate. Can you see out the window?
Yeah.
Do you see that strange building right there?
Yeah, I do.
There, if you look at the very top of it, is there something missing? There used to be a giant wind turbine on the top of that.
Oh, wow.
And I actually got so insane and is so powerful that like Mike Reynolds used to live in there. He used to think it was just gonna fly away, like just freaking take off. The place that I'm at is it's called the Castle Complex.
Uh-huh.
Castle Compound Complex, and this was getting started, built in 1979 or 1980. Get back, bud. And this down below, and this I'm in the third floor right now.
Nice.
The second floor right below me right now used to be Mike Reynolds' office headquarters.
Oh, okay.
Now it's changed. So yeah, power. You got solar power, wind power. And then it stores it in the batteries. There's like a battery system, and usually the batteries are linked together. It's not just one battery. It's like a 6 to 12 batteries all linked together. So then all of them can store the power, and then you can just use that power sparingly. And it's like I'm not constantly. I spend a lot of time in the dark, to be honest, and it's like it is a test internally and spiritually, and it's like, because your fears get tested out here a lot. And that's why a lot of people don't really even. Not only do they not know about it, they're not even willing to take upon that challenge and to live this lifestyle in this way, or even to come and visit out here. I've noticed it takes people a lot of testicular fortitude even to come and visit.
Testicular fortitude.
And I actually want to give. I want to show you a couple of the views here before the sun goes down. But so hold on, let me check here. See, I found this treasure map. It says how to save the world, and it says inspiring, educating, empowering, providing an environment that supports awakening. So Earthship, all the basic needs is building with repurposed material, heating and cooling, water harvesting, which is collecting the rainwater and reusing the snow, growing your own food, solar and wind energy, and sewage treatment, which everyone seems to forget about.
Yeah.
It's like, you got to do something with your humanure, your waste. Hold on, let me check here, see if make sure he's not biting on something crazy. Hey, come here. Come here. Oh, he just runs away. I think it's just a piece of wood.
Oh, now I get it. It's called a treasure map because you need a map to guide you to be able to build one of these Earthship, because it relies on so many things that come together to build and create this dwelling that you're living in. So it requires you to have all these like things to be able to have a functioning lifestyle.
Yeah, exactly.
But you don't have all the luxuries of like modern society, which is all, Black Mirror shit. I mean, if you think about it, it's all stuff that indoctrinates you and it takes you away from source. And being, where you live, I mean, you're a part of source. You're living, you're a part of the land.
Yeah. This is actually based on my research and my family lineage and heritage. This is where the Navajo and the Hopi and the Azazanis land. And there's a lot of Native American and indigenous genocide and past warfare that has happened here in the past. Everywhere you go, but particularly here. And like, I remember my mom called me like a year ago when I was living here, and she's like, that's where our family came from. And I'm like, yeah, Mom, I know. I'm out here. I feel it in the ether, in my bones. I feel it. It's a terrifying and unbelievably in your face feeling, Mom. And yeah, I mean, my buddy wants to go gold mining, crystal mining, gem mining, and diamond mining. But hey, stop. that's not something that is given really freely. Beanie's got the zoomies, and it's like if that were a lot of the wars were caused over that. The Native Americans, they know where all the gold mines are, all the crystals and the gems and the minerals, and and so whoever came here to take that away from them, there's the bloody wars caused over that. And so it's like a pretty well-guarded secret, because I've been going around town and trying to find places to go, towns to go, secrets finding, and it's like if you're a professional, you spend your whole life being an expert at your craft, and even then it's hard to be a professional crystal miner, gold miner. It's like so like apparently there are some untapped veins there, and as some of us researchers know, these veins are like apparently from giants and titans and fallen titans and fallen giants, and they're actually a few years ago in 2020, when I was deep into the the mud floods and the titans and the giants. I've always been into that, but like once it cross pollinates and correlates with the flat Earth and with ancient history and all this lost knowledge that has been edited and manipulated throughout time, and I came here and with new eyes, a new pair of eyes, and so I was walking through the Rio Grande, and I'd see stone faces in the walls everywhere. I see hands, eyes, faces. I mean, I see a fist like this, absolutely shaped the exact same way. There's no difference at all, except it's as big as half my body.
Yeah,
and I'm down there, and I'm taking pictures. I have all those pictures are on my Instagram, and I wanted to take a bath in the natural healing springs, the sulfur springs, and then to jump into the freezing cold river for healing, cathartic aspects. And I'm there, and I'm with a bunch of strangers, and all of a sudden I have some reefer, some cannabis, and I see this guy that I call them unicorn people. They're just in a crowd of 300 or 500 people. There's gonna be a couple of unicorn people that stick out, and you're like, oh, that's one of them persons that it's like a side quest in Final Fantasy. Like it's like there's a light hovering over their head, and you should go talk to them. I love to talk to those people, at least when my heart tells me to. And so, oh yeah, because I was watching Donut, and he kept bringing up video games, and like the Pac-Man, Puckman, and
Pac-Man,
but Final Fantasy is interesting because it's the Final Fantasy. Right.
I was addicted to that for many years.
Me too. I actually quitting that was huge.
Hard.
It was. Yeah, it was. It was a huge decision in my life because I was about. Dude,
I was about funny.
Like. I was. Here, I'll let you out real quick. I was about 9. Or no. I was about. I'd have to look at the year of what Final Fantasy it was. It was Final Fantasy 12, and so I quit that year, and hey, wait, did I? Okay, so I was like, this is my chance. Either I'm gonna spend the next 10 to 15 years of my life putting hundreds of hours, possibly even thousands.
Yeah.
Of hours into these games.
Uh-oh. We're losing you. Are you away from Wi-Fi? Do you have Wi-Fi? I can't imagine you having Wi-Fi. I would think that if you were outdoors, you would have a clearer signal.
Oh shit! My could you hear me?
Yeah, I mean, you just now come back.
Okay, let me get back towards the house. My bad. Come here, buddy. Come here.
No
Yeah.
worries.
So here, let me show you the outside at least.
Nice.
So that's the 3-story mansion castle right there. Let me.
Dude, that's badass.
Here's my little bean.
He's-
Are you there? Come here.
Yeah. So I take it you have Wi-Fi?
Yeah, yeah. It's just I'm going beyond the signal right there.
Oh, okay. Because I really don't know where you are in New Mexico, or if you rely on like Wi-Fi and all that.
Yeah, there's Wi-Fi here powered by Taos Net.
Oh, okay.
And so yeah, there's the second floor. I'll stick my head out of that in a second. That right there. Oh, wait, that right there. Wait. Why am I so confused? That right there is Mike's former headquarters office. That right there is unused room. Here's the greenhouse area. Getting a little. Let me turn this on. But so here's this right. This is the community area where the staff can come to refill their water bottles with the well. So I was quite happy that oh yeah, I want to get back into that too, the Esalen and Tavistock, because not many flat earthers talk about Tavistock, or especially not the Esalen Institute. So a matter of fact, when I watched your interview with Donut, you guys brought up Tavistock, and I'm like, these MFers better bring up Esalen Institute, and he brought it up, and I was like, yeah. I'm like, my respect is skyrocketed. I was like, I don't know. I guess I get triggered by people's fucking success when they're just regurgitating everybody else's research and not.
Right.
No offense to Mr. Donut. But he's been obsessed with disco for a while, and he didn't even mention Discordianism, which was around in 1950s, which came from Madam H.P. Blavatsky and the Theosophical Society. And
I didn't catch that either, so I'm guilty.
No, I'm just a fucking stooge sometimes. I'm a Scrooge sometimes. Come here, buddy. Get out of there. Get out of there.
Well, it's funny about everything. I mean, everything in society is all programming, and Tavistock, their reach is so far out that it's impossible to cover everything that they do in one setting. I mean, it would have to be a 6-hour show to uncover every little detail that their hands are in, because they control so much of our way of thinking that we don't even know that we don't have our own original thoughts, because it's so rooted in everything that we've ever learned throughout our entire lives. Entertainment is so much a part of our culture and so much a part of our life that we don't even realize that they're in control of it.
You were blowing me away with some of your wisdom on Tavistock. I was very happy I was like, oh man, Tavistock. It's not only the Tavistock Institute, it's the Tavistock Group. It's and then they use other names that's linked to all the to Tavistock, and including the Esalen Institute. And yeah, like one of the main reasons I went there was because I was like, all right, apparently this is the MK Ultra headquarters, so this will be a safe place to visit. And oddly enough, I did get drugged by a whip, and I had like existential brief bout of psychosis and a mental breakthrough. They call it. They don't call it a breakdown. They call it a breakthrough.
Yeah,
and that's where I learned a Gestalt therapy. I didn't even know what Gestalt therapy was, but they do it on a daily basis there to pretty much start all the days. Everyone gets in a circle and pretty much just tells what's going on in their mind at that exact moment. And people like cry, and people are just, releasing all these traumas. And having cathartic experiences together, and just helping each other get through whatever hard times, or trying to celebrate whatever good times people are having. And I really appreciated that. Matter of fact, any books that I see with Gestalt therapy in the title, I buy now. And I just got the Gestalt therapy book from Frederick, otherwise known as Fritz Perls, and he was one of the main he was the main inventor of Gestalt therapy, Frederick Perls, and he basically co-founded Esalen with Michael Murphy.
Yeah.
And he's still alive too. He's like 92 years old.
It's amazing that a lot of these people are still alive. I mean, I was just watching George Soros at a I don't know what he was on. He was on a episode of Bloomberg, and I was like, why the hell is he talking about climate change on Bloomberg? You know, and this guy is like 100 years old. He can barely speak. He can barely see what he's reading, and yet he's one of the faces.
I refuse to believe these people even exist. They have to be like CGI or computer generated at this point.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like
barely talk.
They're like Sith Lords, dude. They're
Yeah.
It's like there's no way that they're existing.
I mean, if they don't ingest the GMOs, they don't, smoke the filtered cigarettes, and they don't drink the fluoride water. I mean, I guess you could live beyond 100 years old and still be bumping around, I mean, they just use these people as these, like, money laundering siphons. They don't really do anything. They don't make any real decisions. They're just a name and a face to use as their laundering money scheme, to funnel money.
This one this one is a newer one. Earth Bag
Building. What is that? Oh, is that Earthships?
It's you see the bottom there?
Yeah.
So that's all earth bags. It's just full of dirt, and it's tampered down. So it's a newer model. It's a
gotcha.
It's a cheaper, more effective model, a way to build these things for normal people like you and I, like so we can just spend $6,000 to $10,000 with 3 or 4 of our friends, and then we could build this by ourselves even.
Oh yeah, you talked about that in your last interview that you did. So the building that you currently live in, I mean, how much would that cost to build? How much do you think?
That the one that I live in right now, I have no idea. I'd have to ask Mike Reynolds how much money he think he put into this, because remember he built in 1980. So
oh wow,
all the cost was. I mean, this has been in operation for nearly 50 years, and it's a damn dude. He's annoying. He's getting all. He's ready for a nap. And he's biting on my sleeping bag that my buddy's going to be. They range, man. Like, hey, get off. Like the I worked on an Earthship Airbnb last year, and that sold. The contractor who built it, he ended up selling it for $250,000. So they're just crazy. Like he's flipping it. So he gets the client that comes in, gives him the money. He's got the bulldozer. He's got the workers. He's got the knowledge. He can bust out an entire Earthship in less than a month.
So why would someone with that kind of money, why would they invest in an Earthship? Well, what do you think?
They're bored with living this. Honestly, they get bored with eating porterhouse steaks every single night. or they're like, man, hey, get out of here.
I mean, you can still have that lifestyle. You just got to make it yourself.
Yeah, like even like high end vegetarians or vegans and shit. Like, I don't know. I would assume they get bored of living the same monotonous life, and so they go and shit. If they have some extra money, hey, let's go out. We heard of these earthships out in the desert. Let's go check them out real quick. And they go out there. They see all this. They're like, holy crap! I love this. I want this for myself. And they have the money for it. So it's like if I had over $100,000, I would already be in the process of building my airship. Unfortunately, I don't. So I got to go into business with my two buddies back in New York, and we're gonna get successful that way. And I'll take the money that I make off of that, and then I'm gonna build my airship library comedy club, and I'm gonna have. I need to build the write the blueprints for it first. I'm gonna have. I watched a documentary last week of a guy who came out here with a tent and a guitar and zero building experience, zero skills, zero construction and engineering and architecture skills. He's just a musician, a hippie, came out here with a tent and a guitar, and within the first week, the winds blew his tent with the guitar away. And so he was trapped out here. He just started digging a hole, and you'd be surprised how many people come out here they have an earthship, and they started just by digging a hole in the ground. And so it's like he dug his hole. Now there's a YouTube channel called Off Grid Guru, and that guy's name's Eric. And I chilled with him, had dinner with him last year, met him and his father, and they're doing their thing. His channel's awesome. His videos are blowing up. Matter of fact, the last couple of videos he put out, he's already got like over 10,000 views. And
wow.
So he interviewed Dan, the other Dan, the guy that I'm talking about, the musician in a tent who has zero building skills. And so I watched that interview, and I just so happened to be in a Telegram group with that guy, Dan. And so I said, yesterday I said to him, I watched that documentary that you did with Off Grid Guru, man. I'd love to meet you, have some coffee, tea, or a cocktail. And he private messaged me right back yesterday and said, we'll have coffee or tea next week. So now I get to meet up with him, and he's done. His entire earthship is completed.
Wow.
And it's all threes and triangles. Hey, and interesting. Go ahead.
How long did it take for him to do that?
I'm not 100% sure. I'll ask him how long it took, how much money he invested into it, and then I'll get back to you direct message. But shit, I had something important to say. Damn, I forgot. It'll come back.
Sorry.
No, don't apologize, man. That's me. That's not you.
Yeah, I mean, I live, very close to the city limits. I mean, I can't even have chickens in Dallas because I'm in the city limits, and my whole dream is to have a farm with chickens and have eggs, and I actually been looking into starting a bee farm, and getting an agricultural loan to buy some land, and one of the things that I discovered that in Texas that you can get a ag exemption, so you don't even have to pay taxes on the land that you own. So instead of paying $8,000 a year for 6 acres of land, it would only cost you about $200 a year, which is a huge benefit. And then the only requirement is that you have to produce honey, and and one of the things that you have to do is you have to produce some kind of cattle or whatever. And then one of the minimum requirements is having a bee farm, and you have to have at least a minimum of 7 colonies in a 6-acre parcel to be able to qualify for the exemption. And I was like, yeah, let's do it.
That sounds amazing, dude. I fully support that. The longest life expectancy out of any job in the world is beekeepers.
Yeah.
Scientific research, sorry, real quick. Scientific research has been conducted that something to do with the bees humming. The bees buzz has a healing effect on the beekeepers.
I believe
It's like has something to do with the cat's purr. You know how you ever hear the purr is a healing effect?
Yeah.
So the buzz of the bees is another healing effect. But yes, you were saying about
Well, in Houston, I mean, they sprayed and almost annihilated the entire population of bees back in like 2006. And it was all because of this whole scare of, I can't remember, it was like some kind of like Zika virus that they were spreading. And so they had to annihilate the population. And so all these like bee farmers were pretty much taken out of business. And I could be getting the date wrong, but I mean, that's what government does. But, you know, at the same time, they offer these programs to incentivize people to even have a bee farm. So I'm actually looking into it. I mean, it just came across a conversation about owning land. And my father-in-law was like, yeah, you should just have a bee farm. And I mean, that's the minimum requirement to have an agricultural loan. And you can get these like incredible low rates on a loan. So, you know, I was like, shit, I'll look into it. I'll consider anything at this point. I just want to get out of the city limits and be off grid and grow my own vegetables. You know, I don't need to have cattle or, you know, pigs or anything like that. So, you know, just have the bare necessities and be able to live off of the land, you know.
I visited Texas for the first time last year in my life, and I drove from New Mexico to Texas. I went through from New Mexico.
Right. That's how we knew each other. We were supposed to connect.
Were we?
Yeah. You were gonna come through Texas, and we were supposed to do a show together.
Oh, okay, cool. Shit. Well, we did it. I drove through Georgetown. I stayed in Georgetown. It's like in the middle of Texas, and
Nice.
and then I went to Austin. But yeah, that's an interesting place, man. There's a bunch of earthships down there. I sent you all that earthship information a couple of weeks ago when you asked. Did you look into any of that stuff?
Yeah, and in fact, there's a lot of communities here, and you know, I mean, they're spread out, but it's definitely growing. It's the earthship communities are getting a lot bigger than I anticipated. You know, which is good. I mean, I think it's better to stay off of like conventional housing construction because it's all crap, dude.
Yeah,
You know, I've been seeing these like home kits that you can buy on Home Depot, and they're not that expensive. I mean, it's super cheap, but you're only buying the shell. You still have to put insulation. You still have to get the drywall, and you know, you still have to put it together. So you still have to hire a contractor to put it up, unless you have the time and resource to be able to do it yourself.
Money, land, resources.
Yep.
That's it. And you as a person. Well, how much does it cost? Well, do you want to live in a $6,000 little single home for one person? Or do you have a spouse or a girlfriend, a wife, a partner? So then you're going to need a dual. You're going to need something beyond a one simple survivor unit. You're going to need basically two simple survivals, except just side by side, which creates basically a double horseshoe.
Yeah.
And then there's all different types of design and models. That was the one that I'm thinking of. I'm trying to. You have the newer models, which is Unity. There's a newer model called Unity, but they're a lot more expensive than what people think. Like people just think that's all I need is 10. I mean, shit. Yeah, you could do it for $10,000. That's what I can't wait to talk to this guy and see how much money he actually see. I think it was a Kickstarter. I think he started it with a Kickstarter. Probably got his who knows? I don't know. I'm guessing 15, 20,000, maybe 40,000. I don't know, but that's a good freaking start. What I'm going to be asking about is how to draw the architecture with the blueprints. because I'll take one of the newer designs, one of the newer models, but I'm gonna make up my own hybrid, my own custom hybrid Earthship, and that's one of my buddies out here. He's the plumber, and he has his own Earthship that he's been working on for coming close to 4 years now, and he's in the last 10% completion. I mean, you can live in it now 100% fine. It's just that there's still a bunch of little finishes he needs to do with the walls and right. But it's enormous. I mean, it is a Earthship mansion, and it's beautiful. He has all of his own little designs that he put in. It's truly his own its own monster, its own entity. I mean, he's got his own a motorcycle garage that he can drive into. He's got his own music room, like his own studio room for his band practice. He's a drummer, so it's like a soundproof room.
So it's really modernized.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have any TVs in this. I mean, besides my laptop and my phone and my iPod or whatever. I don't even know what the hell they're called. But I mean, I would like to get a lot more reading done. Like I was reading 10 to 20 pages a day easily. But ever since I got Mr. Bean here, I can barely read 2 pages a day because I'm constantly like training him and kind of constantly keep a lookout. Like right now he's fine. He's just chilling on the yoga mat, chewing on his bone. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of opportunities, and you got to like create them yourself. Like I said, land, money, and resources. So depending on your location, if you're in upstate New York, well, you have a shit ton of free rocks and a shit ton of free slate and flagstone and timber, and so all that shit's basically free. Yeah. So it's like, depending on your location, that cuts the cost of your resources. Right. So it's like the whole point of the Earthship is to cut as many. It's not conventional building. It's Earthship building. You're cutting as many quarters as you can. You're hiding what you don't want people to see. There, you're cutting the costs. You're trying to make something that's 250,000, and you're trying to make it for 25,000. Yeah, 50. It's like, so that's what I'm desperately working towards. That's why I keep coming back here. Came back here in 2008. First came here in 2018. Completed the Earthship Academy 4-week program. Wow. Came back 2020 to do a field study. That's another 4-week program that you take all of your skills that you learn from the academy. Now you apply them on the field study. Mm-hmm. And then the third step is the final step, which is the step that I'm working on, which is build your design, write your blueprints, and then you conduct your own field study. So then other people are helping you build what you did for somebody else's field study. Yeah. So you can build on it if you want, or you can just sit back and watch everybody else build your home. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be working with everybody.
That costs even more money.
That's what I'm working on, man. I'm working on my Earthship Library Comedy Club, which is one of a kind. There aren't any in the world yet, and somebody might even do it before me. Somebody even might even take my idea and do it before me, and I don't care. I'll know they got it from me because I asked Mike Reynolds himself face to face, and I said, "Has there ever been an Earthship comedy or Earthship Library Comedy Club?" And, oh wow, holy shit! No, I've never heard of that before. That sounds like great. I go do that. I'd like to go there, and I'm like, if I'm impressing the creator of the Earthships himself, then I know I have a fucking good idea.
Yeah, that sounds like a really good idea.
Anyone I tell it to, they love it. I was talking to a dude in my Telegram group last night, and he was like, "Yo, I'll subscribe to your Patreon. You're building those Earthship library comedy clubs, right?" And I'm like, "What?" And I'm like, you know what I'm doing here? I didn't even know who the guy was. But
Yeah.
I tried to go live on my Patreon so I can give content to the Patreon exclusive people, and because I felt bad, I'm like, I don't know how to do this stuff. I can barely get my audio to work. Matter of fact, I couldn't get my audio working, so it's like I can't even provide what I want to give to people, and I have no like help or support. No, none of you tech nerds are coming to help me, and so it's like I'm do this all myself, and so I went live on my Telegram instead, and then some people joined, and two of the people that were actually watching my live stream on mute. So I'm like, I'm on mute. I don't know how. I've been on YouTube for 10 years. I'm getting worse at technology. I used to run through OBS. I don't even know how to do this stuff anymore, man. I'm losing my technological skills. I'm becoming that was like one of my staples of, it's like Discordianism. It's like, you can just create. You just create whatever you want. And it's a way to release your passion and your creativity.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be the most well edited, or in my case, I used to have a computer. It looked like I was on Mars with all the static and stuff, like right now that's going on. And so it's like, people will be like, yeah, that's super Discordian. And it's like, he doesn't even care about the editing. It's like, yeah, dude, it's not that I want to make low quality content. It's just that I know that there's going to be, I'll produce high quality content if I just keep putting out what I deem is, it's like, dude, I would love to put out fiery bangers and 10 out of 10s every single video.
Yeah.
It's not, I can't, it's not that I don't want to, it's just that it's hard. And it's like, I don't care if I produce a bunch of turds to find some gold every once in a while. I have over 600 videos in the past 10 years. I've become so bad at creating content for myself that I have to get interviewed by people like you and channels like you. And then I upload what you do, and I uploaded it onto my channel, and that's how it's like. Yeah, look, I have someone.
You're relying on other people's, technology.
Yeah. Like, I don't even know. Like, if I were to try to go live on my channel right now, it would be muted. And I have I'm not kidding. And I have a brand new computer.
Yeah.
And I spent, I don't know, like $600 on this computer. It's got like a docking station with all these extra plugs, and it's made me worse. It's made me worse. I thought it was going to make me better, but I don't even know how to get the audio working half the time. So I take advantage of getting interviewed by, or having talks with people like you who are actually technologically competent. And so then I just upload it onto my channel, and then just look at like the past 12 videos on my channel. It's not from me. It's from all these other people that are interviewing. I don't know how to do it anymore, man. So
all right, man. Well, it's been almost 2 hours.
Damn, dude.
And I feel like we haven't really gone into like really Earthships as much as we could. I think we could do like a 2-part show and then do this again.
Yeah, I'll gather the questions from the other Dan that I'm about to meet, who with no building experience, and send me a list of questions that you want me to ask him, and I'll get all the information from him. How much it costs to build it, how long, how he built how he wrote the blueprints. Anything you can think of, I'll ask him, man. And I really appreciate your input and feedback on that.
Yeah, for sure. And since you're like really open to like religion and stuff, I want you to check out episode 62. I did an interview with Tyler Doka of Pillar of Truth, and he really opened my eyes back in 2020. I watched the documentary World Upside Down, which is the Flat Earth video. And it's what really caught my attention and like really got me to like listen to his sermons. Because I know, you and I both agree that everything that we've been told about history is a lie. And what if I told you that the story of Jesus is also a lie, and then we're living out the scripture, the scriptures in the Bible in real time? Tyler, he connects God and scripture to our pineal gland and the true description of the 24 vertebrae, which are the four parts of the vertebrae in our spine, which is the four parts of our brain that surround the pineal gland, and the 20 elders, which is all 24 put together is the 24 vertebrae that is wired in our brain down our spine. So put it briefly, the body is really the temple and heaven is inside of us. And my mind has just been blown ever since I discovered all this. And I've watched all his videos, which I put in a playlist for you to watch, and it also includes the World Upside Down video. And it's I think someone who's very open minded and is looked into all the religions, I think you would be really interested in what he has to say. And then just kind of give me, your thoughts and what you think. And if you disagree with it, then you disagree, But
I'm definitely going to check it out. I might even watch it tonight. I only have a couple things on my watch list, and I honestly, I'm glad that like I haven't watched a lot of your stuff, because then it's like a present for me. Now I get to watch. Now I get to binge watch all your stuff. So it's like I really enjoy that. I put it on like 1.5 speed, and then I go through it. And so yeah, episode 62, you said?
Yeah, and then
Cool.
I have a playlist for you to watch. So if you've gone through the whole episode, and then you can play the playlist, that way you can fully understand where he's coming from and then where I'm coming from, because it's my whole perspective on life has changed. Like, we've been lied to about everything in this world, through history and through education. Like, nothing is what it seems. So I ingest whatever kind of comes my way, and then once I have the full interpretation, then I can kind of put that together and decide, is this our reality?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do a very similar thing. I heard you mention in the last video with Donut, you said that you're like, you seek a lot. You're a seeker of wisdom, of truth, and you said you really have no finite answers. And I'm very similar. I'm very similar. I don't have many conclusions. I have some, but I can't think of them. But it's like, I was listening to a Wu Wei non-dual meditation earlier, and it said, and it reminded me of you. It said that the seeker is seeking out what is sought. And it's like it's like an eye trying to see itself, or awareness trying to be aware of itself. And so it's like, and you said like, you don't know if it's ever going to come to an end, if it's ever going to be satiated. And it's like, it will.
Yeah.
The search will come to an end. It does come to an end. And
Obviously.
It could come to an end before we die.
True.
And I'll say the last thing here, which it's a Zen parable or a Zen koan. If you die before you die, then when you die, you will not die.
Nice. I like that.
It's like, I love that one, because it's like, and I'm constantly, I think about death a lot, and like you said, like, meditate on death. And I saw a Rudolf Steiner video earlier on my feed. It said like, what happens at the moment of death and after death, and like, this is all today. And it's like, so, I mean, there's just a lot of, I brought these reincarnation books with Manly P. Hall. You said you're into that. There's just a lot of correspondences and coincidences and synchronicities between us. And I just want to say thank you, Mikey Jayy, for having me on your channel and listening to me. And I really appreciate that, man. And
Absolutely.
we'll be talking a lot more, and I'll be participating much more in your Telegram group and talking with you a lot more now that we have some rapport. So thanks again, man. And I'll talk to you after this, and please send me those Earthship questions so I can ask the dude who just completed his Earthship, and maybe that'll set up part 2.
All right, absolutely, brother. Well, I appreciate you coming on here, and you have a great night, and we'll talk to you real soon. I'll put all the links in your videos and in Telegram, whatever you want me to put, I'll put it in the description.
Dude, thank you so much, Mikey Jayy, and you have a wonderful night. And yeah, we'll talk again, man. I appreciate you, and thank you for having me on again.
All right, man. Peace, brother.
Peace be with you.
Britannia won't raise a flag, and everything you know will be past tense. Need any help with your bags up? Are you checking out early again? This day you're not worried. Oh, you're not thinking about it. Just sipping down your fizz and letting taste turn to delight. Take the rough with the smooth and fast food at midnight. A deafening noise that has no sound. It's your ignorance. There's no innocence. Forget it ever happened if it has nothing to do with me. So what should I care for you? Because it's the truth. Just sipping down your fears and letting taste turn to delight.
To the 3rd floor we go. All right. Hey. Hey. Yeah. Yeah. All right, one sec. Here's the roof. Pretty nice view. The Earthship pods. One pod there, one pod there, and one pod there. Let me zoom out. Another solar panel. So yeah, kind of a nice drop. Drop. That would be the rooftop. fireplace. It's probably another fireplace. And that's where I just came from.
That work?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Sweet.
How
What's
you
up, Mikey Jayy?
Good to finally talk to you, man. It's been a
Dude,
while.
I want to save this for the show, but I feel like we've talked before in a previous group.
One of Jaronism's shows. Like,
Is that what it is? I'm like, I felt like I've talked to you, or at least been in a group with you before where
I think it was
I
in
remember
2021.
when your channel just got started or something like that. When you, I'm trying to remember. Is that right?
Or it was, you know what? You've come on to Alex Stein's feed too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was one of his shows back in 2021 when all of this was new to me.
Dude, you're better than I am at technology, man.
Oh, that's cool. So are you ready? Should we start, or do you want to like catch your breath and like grab your senses?
Yeah, I got here. You see that?
Oh, nice.
And I got you got that right there. So I just want to bring that upstairs, and then
Yeah, sure.
well, no, yeah. I want to bring it upstairs.
Yeah, whatever's going to be comfortable for you. I mean, we can take up as much time as you need to get comfortable, because I'll edit whatever out. It's not a live stream.
How long do you want it to be?
A lot of my interviews last about an hour and a half.
Okay.
It just depends on how well our conversation goes.
I just fed him. He's
okay.
usually I feed him at 5 o'clock, but I was like, yeah, I don't want to interrupt things, so gotta do it early.
Yeah, I had to feed my dogs early.
I went for a walk. I strained my calf.
Oh shit.
Playing basketball. It's pretty bad. It was the worst one I ever did in my life. It's
wow.
no coincidence. I'm 37 years old. But
yeah, that'll happen if you're not used to physical activities. It'll just happen.
I'm used to physical activities. Just I strained myself too much. I said to everybody that I didn't want to play 3 games in a row because I was feeling kind of sore.
Yeah.
And then we got to the very last game, and the very last end of the game, the points, and I popped that thing out of place. I tore it. Hey, come here, buddy. And I want to like I'm gonna get him like kind of tired out for the next 5 minutes. Let him run around, and then I'll put him in the crate, and hopefully he doesn't. Hopefully he just takes a little nap.
Yeah, of course. Take your time.
Hey, stop! What do you got there? Yeah, I watched your interview with Donut, the whole thing. That was great. I'm gonna build off a couple points that he made, like Tavistock and Esalen Institute, and
cool.
Discordian. He was going off about disco, but he never mentioned Discordianism. Mr. Donut, you got to mention your Discordianism.
That's like the root word, and I didn't even catch that either.
That's fucking that's funny. But and I'm like Mr. Discordian guy lately, so and I have been for shit since like 2014, 2015. But so I'll shit. Ever use any of the pre-talk in the live or in your edit?
If there's good dialogue, I'll put it at the end. Kind of like bonus material.
Nice, dude. Yeah. So
yeah, I might do that.
Cool. Yeah. So he's laying down. His energy's hopefully gonna get down. I just don't want him to squeal in the crate, because I just got back from an hour-long walk, and
nice.
He wasn't squealing, and it's usually his limit here. creamer into this stuff, take it upstairs, and I'll be ready to go.
All right.
I'm dressed up on the top, but casual on the bottom.
At least you're not in underwear.
Like Alex Stein.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Well, you'll like this. Both my dogs, I have two dogs, and they're both named Frank and Charlie.
Oh, that's perfect. Oh, I love that.
Frank Reynolds and Charlie Kelly.
Oh, that's perfect. I'm glad you caught me off guard when you caught that. I forgot. Besides the gold mine thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I noticed the first comment. And I'd have to rewatch it again to catch what you said the first time. Because I was like, oh, that was a It's Always Sunny reference. Because
I love comedy.
Yeah.
Comedy is that's another avenue that I've pursued, and I know a lot of fucked up shit has happened in my comedy career.
Oh, really? Nice. See, I used to hang out with a bunch of comedians when I lived up in Northern California. That was kind of like my every other week on a Thursday night. It was open mic.
Did you go on stage?
Oh no, not me. I'm terrible. I'm not funny.
Oh man. Well, it's just the Taos open mic, and hey, get out of there. God, man, he's obsessed with the banana leaves.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So yeah, I'm taking this upstairs here. This is I can even give you a little tour, even though you've already probably seen it at this point.
Yeah, I've seen it a couple times.
But I found a treasure map too with a bunch of stuff on how to save the world. Apparently,
a treasure map.
Yeah,
cool.
I found it.
On how to save the world.
Yeah, and so it's got a shit ton of talking points I'm going to use.
All right,
it's pretty cool. It's like that's an Earthship thing, is that you'll just like find something that you need for that day.
Yeah,
and even though I've been here for over a month, and going back down, that was the third floor. This is the second. I'm going back down to the first floor. Yeah, had a really good day. I got all my fires stocked and prepared.
Nice.
Oh yeah. Take this last trip upstairs. I wish he can go up, but he would die if he fell down it, because as you just saw, it's pretty far.
Yeah, it sounds like you've been walking quite a while.
My hip is even a little sore too. At
least you can walk.
Yeah, exactly. It's from an old basketball injury. Yeah, but get all this small talk out of the way, so we can talk about the big. Well, whatever. I actually just had an epiphany about the micro and the macro recently.
Uh-huh.
Good stuff. Actually, last night. All right. Go back and get my dog. You know what? I'm not even going to put him in the cage. I'm going to let him just roam around, and hopefully he'll just
find his way up.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, put my cowboy hat on.
Nice. Dude, that fits you perfectly, dude.
Nice.
Like it was meant for you.
Dude. All right. Yeah, I'm going to go out to the pub later tonight for a couple brewskis, and I said hello to the security guard, who's just so happens to be my next door neighbor.
Nice.
Are you just sitting there? What are you doing? Come here. Such a good boy. And then he goes on his cinder block, and he sits there. Oh, yeah. Never mind. All right, so let's take him upstairs. All right.
This is Frank.
Oh, look at Frankie Poo. Is he Frank?
Look, it's another guy. He would chase after him.
Hell yeah, man. Well, I'm glad and grateful that you invited me on.
Oh yeah, I've been wanting to have you on for quite a while. I just, I get caught up in my own like schedule of stuff that I have in my head, and I'm like, oh shit, I need to have that guy on.
Yeah, dude, I'm ready when you are. So
cool.
Actually,
cool.
give me 30 seconds to catch my breath.
Yeah, of course.
Here's my view.
That's a great view. Looks pretty flat.
Oh, it's extremely flat.
And those clouds look pretty artificial too.
Oh yeah, they are. Yeah, it's really bad actually. And sadly enough, it's right when I say, like, for the first 3 weeks, it was just pure blue skies. And then I said something to some of my friends, and then every day it's like this.
Yeah. I don't know what they're doing, what their plan is, but whatever they're doing is affecting the entire country, and because you're stealing moisture from one area and bring it to another. So it's all coordinated. I mean, they've been doing it so long, they've figured out how to manipulate exactly what they want the weather to do. So we don't even know what natural weather looks like.
It's crazy.
In Texas, we get like 1 day a week where it's actually clear, and the rest of the time it's just filled with military planes and chemtrails. And
that's insane.
Nobody's the wiser. They just think it's commercial airplanes. I'm like, no commercial airplane flies in random routes like that. They don't cross patterns like that. When you watch the flights coming in, they're a very distinct pattern, and there's dozens of planes that fly in the same patterns over and over. And then we get these chemtrails that fly in random sections of the sky, and people just don't put the two and two together. It's like they're just dumb.
If you can't get the chemtrails thing, then there's really no point of even talking to him about anything else.
Yeah. Yep.
So he's chill, and
Cool.
I'm chill.
Nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and do my intro, and then I'll introduce you. That's cool.
Yeah, that's good, boy. You stay there.
Sit on the brick.
That's a sitting brick. Sit there, and I'll give him a treat. Whenever he feels confused, he just goes onto the brick, and then I give him some treats. So
that's funny.
So the person that I was with was a guy, and I was meeting his wife, and so he was telling me some crazy stories about her, and so I finally meet her. 20 minutes go by. Apparently, the place that I was at was it's basically constantly open. It's 24/7, quote unquote, art project. So they're allowed to do whatever they want in there and stay open as late as possible. It's just a little loophole. And it reminds me of like some Tim Leary and the Merry Pranksters. You ever hear of those guys? Ken Kesey and Neil Cassidy. And these are the guys that were driving around the bus with the Grateful Dead and in a bus called Further.
No, I'm not familiar with that.
They're doing this is what the government was sponsoring. They were given free LSD at their parties, and it was called the acid tests. You should.
Yeah, that was definitely a Tavistock program.
Oh, 100%. And so yeah, they were supplying the LSD, millions and millions of tablets. Actually, probably over 10 million worldwide, internationally, because it was involved internationally as well. because then these people started to go to India, and there's a lot of drug LSD use and a lot of drug use in general. But back on point, yeah, the acid test. So basically, probably if you freaked out and ruined everyone's time, you probably didn't pass the test. But I don't know. I've only done acid one time, and that was 10 years ago. No, you go ahead.
I mean, I believe that UFOs exist, but I think they're a part of this whole terrestrial realm. I don't think they're from deep space, because I don't believe that space exists.
Yeah, no, neither do I. Yeah, they're just, I mean, or either that or they're military run UFOs as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Like they could, so
Space Force.
But did you ever hear? Yeah. Did you ever hear of CE5? It's insane. CE5. CE5, Contact Expedition Level 5. There's levels 1 through 5. Each level is basically CE1 is them abducting.
Oh, yeah.
Don't want. Or maybe you do. I don't know. Maybe you're one of those people. I would rather be invited than abducted.
Yeah, for sure.
So then level 2 is you're starting to become aware of this, and you can actually make them appear. I don't know. I'd have to. So when I was on the LSD, after I finished the movie E.T., I went to the computer and I got a friend request from this guy who I'm still friends with. And in his profile picture was him with a life-size sculpture of E.T.
What?
And this is right after I finished the movie.
That's crazy.
And I'm like, what? So I go check out his profile, and he says he's like a director of Contact Expedition, and then I message him. I'm like, yo, what? I just watched E.T. You just friend requested me E.T. What's going on here? He's like, have you ever heard of CE5? And I'm like, no. And I go to look it up, and I'm reading what each level is 1 through 5, and I've experienced basically all the levels. And level 5 is you being aware of their presence, and you're in the presence of one. And Terrence McKenna used to say that he used to say the hard between an actual alien entity or your soul. I mean, most people when they actually get in contact with their soul, they mistake it for an alien entity.
Interesting.
And it's like, yeah, you're just meeting your actual soul and you're confusing it for an alien, because our own souls are alien to us. That they've been hidden. Our own spirit and soul has been buried and hidden from us, that when we actually meet our own soul, we fucking confuse it for a freaking alien. And so all these stories are made up. But I was losing my mind reading what level 5 was, because all of a sudden the door behind me, or there's a sliding glass door, and all of a sudden it goes, the door starts to open, and I'm like, did the glass door? And as I'm reading this, as I'm tripping, and I'm like, oh shit, does that mean there's? And I swear, dude, I felt a gliding presence, and then it was over my left shoulder, and that's in the Carlos Castaneda books. He says that death looms always over your left shoulder. And I was like tripped out and admittingly terrified and frightened. Yeah. And I felt this way before, and it happened at the Esalen Institute, where I couldn't make eye contact with the guy that I was, after the witch lady drugged me. I couldn't make eye contact with the guy that I was walking with. His aura was so powerful. His presence was so strong, and I was so scared, having a paranoid bout of psychosis that I couldn't even look at him in the eyes. And
was he really there?
Yeah, he was. And although the part that happened after that, I'm not sure if it really did happen or not. With the whole, it gets too intense. I went into it vaguely on Brian's 4 hours, but it's like it's too insane. There's too many details. It's too many parts of the story. It takes too long to tell. So there's no, unless I do a whole entire show about it, there's no point in getting into it because it gets too confusing and non-relatable. But so the same thing happened with that alien entity. That I couldn't look over. I was so scared. I was like, I was on the computer and I was like, it's right there. It's right next to me. And I'm not looking over. All I had to do was go like this. I couldn't do it. And then all of a sudden it disappeared, and the whole, it was like reversed. It's gone. But yeah, that's enough of drug talk. Although we were talking about Esalen and MK Ultra and the acid tests. And
was that the interview you did with Brian Staveley?
Yeah. What about it?
Is that the interview that you talked about that actual circumstance with Brian Staveley?
Yeah. I got into about half of it, maybe even close to like 60% of the story I told. There's still a bunch left out. I haven't told anyone yet over the past 10 years, which is kind of pretty. That just goes to show you how it's like, dude, I don't want to disparage people. I don't want to badmouth things. I don't want to ruin certain reputations of people. But I have no interest in that because I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back, and it's like, I like to face my fears. I like to give things a second chance. Shit, I forgot where I was going with that, but
well, when you revisit things with a fresh mind, and you were able to think about what happened that day, you can, you're not instilled with fear. You actually have knowledge about what happened, and you were able to think about what happened that day, and you can, once you encounter it again, you have a clearer mind.
Exactly. I mean, every single time I come back out here to the Earthship, not only am I more knowledgeable, more wise, more talented, more skilled, more contacts, more networking, more bravery, more courage. All of the things that I was scared of and fearful in the past, they come back. Except now I just fight through it. It's not even really a fight anymore. It's like I've given up fighting, and I just wu-wei it. I just action through non-action, effortlessness. And that seems to be working for me. As long as I follow my heart, it seems to be working good. I'm more calm, more quiet, less techniques, less lessening the meditations. It's like, there's a book by Bhagwan Sri Rajneesh, otherwise known as Osho, the sex guru. And he has a book where he has 131 meditation techniques, and all of them are different.
Yeah.
And he invented dynamic meditation. And that's what a lot of these new age people do. They just take all of Osho stuff, or these spiritual teachers or gurus or thought leaders, and they just invent their own. And it's not wise to do. It's not smart to do. That's why I don't do that stuff. And he basically said, if you can't find a working meditation out of these 131 that I'm giving you, then you're a fuck up. That you can't even get one of these 131 meditation techniques to work. So just stop it. Stop trying to do all this shit that you're not even capable of doing, and you're not even doing it correctly, and you can't even do any of them correctly. So stop doing it. And if you are going to do it, choose 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, don't even choose 2. Pick one and stick with it, and then learn how to do it, because you're probably doing it incorrectly. So try to stick with one. And if you can just keep doing that one over and over again, go deeper and deeper and deeper into yourself, well, then you'll fucking learn something. And I really resonate with that. I'm
one meditation that I haven't tried that I've been wanting to do is meditating being dead. And that's being in a still place, having no thought, and just not even really listening, just being not here, being present in your body, but kind of not, because once you pass on, I mean, you experience complete blackness, and that's when you really test your insanity, and that's when you start to make these terrible decisions. Once you pass on to this life, like, where is that going to lead you? And if you're panicked and you all of a sudden you're experiencing just complete darkness, like, are you going to make a decision and then go back into another life, or are you going to venture off and experience what this world really is and find the answers? Death to rebirth. Yeah.
Reincarnation. You're getting into.
I've explored everything. Nice. How to believe in rebirth enriches your life. Manly P. Hall. Yep. Nice.
This is a Discordian book, one of the latest and most successful.
Yeah.
He hates me, the author of it. We got
well, OBS is not easy, and I deleted it off my computer because I can't get it to work with my system, and apparently I need to spend more money, and I'm not going to dump any more money into what I do, because I don't make any money doing this.
Yeah. I started my Patreon like about 6 months ago.
Uh-huh.
And it's basically, it's very comical, and it's $1 per month, which is like get your slack back, which is church. It's taken from the Church of the Subgenius, and then there's $5, which is Nazi pricing, and then there's $23 per month, which is NASA pricing. And it says the $23 one. It says this is exactly the same thing as the $5 pricing, except I'm using all this money to defund NASA. And so Jaron pays $23 a month for me, which I'm unbelievably thankful for. And I don't even know how to use the money. I checked about a month ago, and I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, I got like $350 in here, and I was like, sweet. So I took all that, and I paid for my rent out here.
Yeah. So
it's like, I work with Santos Bonacci and David Weiss with the Syncretism Society, and I try to make video content. See, that's what it is. I was making videos for them for a while, and so I neglected my own YouTube channel because I realized that I get more promotion from them, from the Syncretism Society, than I do promoting myself.
Yeah,
like I don't even know how to promote myself in a good way. I'm not a good sellout. I'm not a good grifter, even though people think I'm a some sort of grifter.
I'm terrible.
It's crazy, dude. Why can't we just be amazing at like Donut is at self-promotion? And I looked at his Patreon the other day. I'm like, holy shit. I'm like 888 Patreons. Yeah. I was like, dude, I'd have a fucking Earthship built if I were you, Donut. Fucking but yeah, so what did he say? So this is episode 66, double 33. Because he was talking about 33s and 23s. He just said he got into the 23 Enigma, which was created by William Burroughs.
Yeah.
William Burroughs, the junkie, the heroin junkie.
Yeah.
And actually, I'm almost positive he chilled with at Esalen Institute and all these. But so he I think discovered or rediscovered the 23 Enigma, and then Robert Anton Wilson, he popularized it from William Burroughs, and he incorporated the 23 Enigma into all of his books, and he was a leading pope of Discordianism. The co-founders of Discordianism are Carrie Thornley and this other guy who I can't remember, unfortunately, and I apologize. But Robert Anton Wilson was a leading head pope of Discordianism, and he helped popularize it. He wrote a lot of their lore, and also he popularized the Church of the Subgenius as well. And those are two ridiculous parody religion rabbit holes that I'd say it's worth checking out. Discordianism for sure, but the Church of the Subgenius is, I don't know, it's kind of a waste of time, at least in my opinion. I spent far too many. I mean, my name is Flat Earth Subgenius. The whole point of that, I was reading a Robert Anton Wilson book and called Quantum Psychology, and at the end of the chapters, he gives brain change exercises to increase your intelligence and to change your paradigm and your perspective. And so one of the challenges or the exercises at the end of the chapter was join 2 new religions. And so I chose, since I'm a wannabe comedian, I chose parody religions because I thought they would make me more creative and a more funnier person. Yeah. And so I chose the number 1 religion as the Church of the Subgenius, and then the second one was the Discordian Society. So the Discordian Society was on the back burner for many years because I was so enveloped in the Church of the Subgenius for so many years and creating the character Flat Earth Subgenius and all this crazy nonsense that people, even flat earthers and the main ones, were scared of even talking with me because they thought I was some sort of Satanist and practicing black magic or chaos magic or whatever. But I don't know. It's like, whatever. I'm one of the persons that I don't really care what you say about me. I know who I am, and I know what my opinion of myself is, and my opinion is the one that matters the most ultimately about myself. And what you think about me says more about you than what it does me. And so I've basically I totally did a 180, and now I've been exposing and humiliating and defaming the Church of the Subgenius for years now, to the point where I don't even want the name Subgenius anymore, or a Flat Earth Subgenius. I want to totally change my name. So now I've been heavily deep into Discordianism for years now, and basically a very similar thing happened because I rose among the ranks and talked to the remaining founders and the higher ups, and it's the same shit happens, where except the Discordians are a lot more open-minded. There was only one other Flat Earth Subgenius when I started in 2014. And so, but now there's dozens, possibly even hundreds of Flat Earth Subgeniuses now, and there was only one. And
I've only known only one, and that's you.
Yeah. And the same thing with the Discordians. As a matter of fact, if you read the main book of the Discordians, which is like the Principia Discordia, halfway through the book, I was reading it. It's about sense and nonsense, order and chaos, and there's a lot to it. There's a lot of Zen and philosophy. Yeah. Actually, he calls it Zenarchy. Okay. Instead of anarchy, Zenarchy. Yeah. And that's one of the books. There's a lot of Discordian books out there, and And it's like it's very Zen like, and I really align with the Tao and the Zen and the Taoists and the Zen Buddhists. I love all that stuff, and I'm a collector of books, and I'm a studier, a scholar of religion, and so I like to dabble in all of it, or at least know a lot or a little about a lot of them, and so now like Discordianism has it's taken over, kind of like how Donut was talking about disco nonstop. Like I can go on and on about Discordianism, but I really hope Donut watches this and he goes into checks out Discordianism, and shit, I'd love to do a show with him too. But because he has a much bigger reach than you and I do, and and it's like, I don't know, like I think there's a lot of, you can make a lot of sense from nonsense.
Right.
And like reading halfway through the main book, all of a sudden it says common sense tells us that the earth is flat. And I'm like, it's just like little things, little synchronicities like that stick out, and they happen so much. And now when I started there were a couple of flat earth Discordians. Now there's a lot of anti-moonlanders, a lot of flat earth Discordians now, and it's like I created the new Discordian society and the newest Discordian society. So now I'm like a top ranking member of the Discordians, a saint, and it creates these egregores. Could you look up the definition of egregore real quick? Because I don't want to.
Sure.
I don't want to butcher it. It's EGRE gore, egregore. And I want to. It's like an invisible meme that you can spread without talking or sharing it, and like it's already infected both of us just by even mentioning it. Now everyone listening to it, it's too late. It's basically like a mind virus that countered all the previous programming, all the previous mind control, all of the previous egregores in existence. It's like a living, invisible entity that you can't capture it. You can't pin it down. I learned that through a book called Occult Memetics, and it's like I've been creating memes so long, and sharing memes, stealing memes, creating memes, for so long, man, for over a decade, that I'm like, I've seen a lot of good come from it. I really have. But reading this book, Occult Memetics, it's like it's like sharing memes with your mind, and you don't even really need to talk anymore. It's like less talk, more action, and you just get to see it all happen, and all these synchronicities and all these like real life experiences happen in your life, and you'll notice it and pick up on it. Have you found it yet?
Yeah.
Okay,
it says egregore is an occult concept representing a non-physical entity that arises from a collective thoughts of a distinct group of people. And then there's another definition. Oops. That's my stupid screen. It's a metaphysical term for a sort of group consciousness, like a zeitgeist or an archetype. It derives from the Hebrew word angel and also for city, and it has enjoyed many misadventures on its way to English.
Misadventures.
Yeah, that's funny.
So yeah, that gives you that's a more technical way of how I put it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's an interesting concept, don't you think?
Yeah.
I am the world-renowned astrophysicist, author, and scientist Neil deGrasse Tyson. And yes, I did lie. The world is indeed flat.